if you don't have a refrigerator to keep your food from spoiling. Your kids want chicken nuggets. You know what you got to do? You got to step outside and grab Clucky the chicken.
Find that nugget.
And you have to chase him down. And I have these homesteader friends.
I could not.
They kill chickens, but you don't want to know. Look, it's not, you would think that they sing them to sleep and perhaps, give them a whole bunch of Xanax or something. So if I were a homesteader, that's how I'd have to kill my animals. I'd be like, here's a lot of Vicodin. You'll have some fun on the way out. I'm sorry. But that's not what they do. It's gross. It's gross the way they kill these chickens. So your kids want chicken nuggets for dinner. You grab little old Clucky and you do all the gross stuff with. Then you're covered. And you Thank you for the chicken noises. That's this podcast. It goes to new levels every day. How each one of these episodes doesn't have 10 million views on YouTube, I defy you to find a better podcast. So you're covered in blood and feathers. You're dismembering a dead bird. Just chop. By the way, my kids are super picky eaters. Shady noses. They're so picky. Can you imagine? It's because I put up with it. This is my fault. If I were one of those old school, the Christian mother of the house, like just tearing chickens apart, and I'm covered in entrails.
Yes.
There's a word for today's show. Entrails. Can you imagine if my kids were like, I don't want this for dinner? This is why there were no This is why there were no. I'm vegan. Like there were no picky eaters back in that day. So the point is, and that's just the protein. If you want a tomato, you're out there you're grabbing tomatoes off the plant and you're getting stung by bugs and wasps, and it's a whole disaster. It's this whole difficult thing. So these people who imagine that stay-at-home moms of the old days, they focused on their kids. No, they didn't. They focused on everyone trying not to die. Just to make breakfast and make lunch and make dinner without refrigeration was an enormously time-consuming process. And then, so why didn't they have refrigerators? Because they didn't have electricity. So think about this. Anything that you are going to do, any kind of chores that you have to get done, which is everything, like everything without modern conveniences, dishwashers, things like that, everything's up to you. It all has to be done before sunset. It's very hard to do things like this, even if you do have lamps and candlelight. It's just not enough light. Try turning off all the lights in your house, having a little tea light next to you to try to do dishes. It's impossible. So you have to get it all done before the sun goes down. And then you don't think of little practical things like without dryers, the only way to dry your clothes is to hang them out. But then think about this. What if it is winter and on a lot of days it's getting below freezing? Well, your husband comes in from the field and is like, where's my jacket that got the pig blood on it when we slaughtered the pig for breakfast the other day? Well, it's a frozen block, honey. It's a frozen block because I didn't calculate correctly how to go dry this. Like women were so unbelievably busy. Canning things. That was the one way that you could kind of preserve things. You could can things, or you could, what do you call when you salt, like make jerky?
You freeze dry stuff? Dry it?
No, not freeze. The freeze dry.
I don't know about
Well, jerky. It's like, I remember my grandfather, he was born in 1914. They just put a bunch of salt on some meat and stick it in the barn. And they'd be like, that's good food.
It cooks with the salt and acid.
Life is hell, So think about how much work this is before in the pre-electricity woman. She was busy. And especially if the more you go back in history, the more daily life was simply a struggle to survive for both men and women. Why is it, if this was such a big deal for women, being a stay-at-home mom, why does this acronym, SAHM, why does it not show up until in the historical record until about 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. These sorts of debates about women in the workplace versus women at home and the value of women. This only started like 40, 50, max 60 years ago. Before that, nobody was debating it because moms and dads were TNDTPs, try not to die today parents. That's what everybody was. There was no, there were not these distinctions that we have today.